Said move on ahead. Okay. There's been a couple of changes, so bear with me. All right, I'd like to start by asking everyone to silence their mobile devices. And I'll start with myself. We're good? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Remain silent for the presentation of the colors by the FDNY ceremonial unit. I will now ask firefighter Michael Green Gregg to lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts we waxed, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful job, Michael. Now ask Reverend Ann Cansfield, chaplain of the FDNY, to lead us in the invocation.
Detail, on cover.
Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Holy One, we ask for your presence here with us now as we remember the 343 members of the FDNY who died on this day 22 years ago, as well as the 341 members who have died since that day due to their participation in the rescue and recovery efforts at the World Trade Center. We remember with gratitude their acts of selfless compassion and deep care. Together we unite to ask that you would comfort all who grieve and strengthen all who are sick. And particularly on this day, I would lift up the name of my colleague chaplain, Monsignor John Delendick. We ask, Holy One, that you would bring your peace and love to our world and safety to all who serve today. Bless our world, our beloved nation, and our dear city, and this strong department, this day and always. Amen.
Detail, recall.
Good morning. My name is Battalion Chief Joseph Brosey. I'm very honored to be here in the museum to remember our fallen today. This ceremony commemorates the 22nd anniversary of the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center. Today marks the darkest day in the FDNY's history. 22 years ago today, we lost 343 members who made the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty while participating in the greatest, largest rescue in FDNY history. In addition to the 343 FDNY members that we lost that day, this great city lost 37 Port Authority police officers, 23 NYPD officers, and 2,350 innocent civilians at the World Trade Center site. In all, almost 3,000 innocent lives were lost that day across New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. On this day, we remember all the first responders who heroically rushed to the scene in response to the call, saving countless lives. We remember their dedication, their determination, and their efforts in the days, weeks, and months working on the recovery efforts in hopes of bringing home the victims to their families. On this day, we remember 341 additional members of the department who have since suffered and died from World Trade Center-related illnesses. We remember their families who continue to live with that grief and that loss. On this day, we remember the thousands who currently suffer every day from World Trade Center-related diseases. We affirm our commitment to always remember them, continue our fight for health care so that they may overcome their ailments and enjoy the quality of life that they were entitled to. I would like to thank and recognize our esteemed officials, elected officials who are here with us today. Give me a half a moment. Okay. Got to be flexible in this business. So, we have been joined today by former Fire Commissioner Sal Casano, Congressman Dan Golden, Attorney General Letitia James, New York State Inspector General Lucy Lang, New York City Veteran Affairs James Hendon, Councilman Eric Botcher, New York State Assemblyman Tony Simone, members of the Museum Board of Trustees that are here today, members of the department, both our active and retired military personnel that are here currently serving and who have served, members of the Buca family representing Fire Marshal Ron Buca, who was lost on September 11th. Welcome. We would also, may we come here together today and every day and never forget the sacrifice of the fallen firefighters and their families. May we remember those who have passed since, and may we keep supporting those who are still here fighting today. I would now like to introduce Chief John Hodgins, the Chief of Department for the New York City Fire Department.
Thank you, Joe. And good afternoon and welcome everybody here today. Throughout the city, firehouses, EMS stations, on-duty and off-duty members, retired members, and families and friends who lost loved ones have gathered to mark this day or reflected quietly on what they lost. We gather in familiar and comforting places, firehouses, EMS stations, headquarters, and various memorials throughout the 5 boroughs. We also gather here at the Fire Museum, where they tell the department's stories and where the FDNY's history comes alive. And our history is important. 22 years later, this day does not get easier. Still, it is imperative to remember those who made the supreme sacrifice to save others and to keep our promise to never forget the incredible bravery of the 343 members who died that day and the hundreds of others who responded. It is up to us, their fellow firefighters, their families, their children, to continue to say, we will never forget. That's why we do this every year. We will never forget who we have lost, what was sacrificed that day, and what we continue to sacrifice 22 years later as our members continue to suffer from World Trade Center-related illnesses. The fire department always shows up for this city and each other. That's why we are proud to say we have the best members in the world. We will always keep our promise to never forget and ensure the memories of every member that was lost will endure. On behalf of the FDNY and everybody else that joined us here today, I'd like to say thank you for your continuous and tremendous support. It is greatly appreciated. God bless all of you, and God bless the FDNY. Thank you.
I would just like to take a moment to recognize FDNY Chief of Staff Louis Martinez, that is here to represent Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh. And anyone else that I forgot or they didn't add on, I apologize. But you guys aren't here to be recognized, right? We're here to remember the people that are recognized over here today. So thank you very much for being here. We'll now lay our wreath as a sign of respect for those that we have lost on 9/11 since. I'll ask firefighter Tom Sullivan and firefighter Lennon DeLees to place the wreath. Thank you, brothers. I would now like to introduce the Executive Director of the New York City Fire Museum, Jennifer Brown.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for joining us for this important ceremony this morning. We do hold this ceremony every year, and it's very meaningful for the museum to commemorate and honor the 343 members who made the supreme sacrifice on September 11th, 2001, honored here. May we never forget them, their courage, and their sacrifice. We also honor their families, the FDNY family they left behind, all of those who were injured, and all of those who valiantly worked on the recovery efforts, and those who have fallen ill since that time or died related to World Trade Center illness. As Chief Brosi said, we're joined by many of our state and local elected officials today. Thank you so much for being here with us. I really shout out to Chief Brosi. We had some changes to the program last minute, so I thank you so much. Reverend Ann, Firefighter Green, Greg, of course, Chief Hodgins, Chief of Staff Martinez, and I'd like to thank the ceremonial unit, the events unit, and digital and media. They're live streaming the event today so more people can share in the commemoration, which is a wonderful thing. Laying our wreath today were firefighters Sullivan and DeLees. They are here with us at the museum throughout the year, and we're so honored to have them be part of the ceremony today. And I would like to acknowledge Michael Calderone. He's over there. He donates this beautiful and stunning wreath to us each year. So that concludes our ceremony for today. Thank you again for being here, and may God bless and protect the FDNY. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.
Yeah,